Yo, what's going on YouTube? Zach with IT Career Questions here. Doing a live stream, kind of on the whim. Let's just do a live stream. Let's talk about some things. And obviously the first thing that I really want to talk about, which is something that kind of sucked really bad. It was very upsetting for me. But it did turn into good news, so it'll be all good. It's all fine. It's all fine and dandy. I failed my LPI Linux Essentials practice exam. I took that Friday or Saturday. I took that, and I didn't do well. Like I said, I failed that, and it was all right. I took notes on everything that I needed to know. Took this little notebook and pretty much wrote down here's everything that I need to know. Here's everything that I failed on, everything that I got wrong. Here's my notes. So I went back and I just decided, based on these notes, I was just going to go into my Linux machine and run some scenarios based around the things that I got wrong. So one of the things that I got wrong was making a directory with a child directory. Something that's generally pretty easy to do, but I just didn't know it. I couldn't think of it. Even after the fact, I kept thinking about it. All right, let me try a couple things. I had to look it up. I had to figure it out again, even though, I went through the entire Linux Essentials course on Linux Academy. I just didn't remember. So now, I ran some scenarios, and here, if I go, got my machine up there. Let's clear this first. You can see I created here a bunch of folders. So everything that's in white is a folder. Everything that's blue is a file. Or sorry, everything that's blue is a folder. Everything that's white is a file. That's my bad. It's been a long day already. But anyway, I just went through creating different directories, trying to figure out the different things that I really needed to do to really understand this and learn it. So creating different directories, setting different rights to the directories, creating files within the directories, adding text to those files, trying to understand that type of concept. So first thing I did was I created a user account. I logged in as a user, created some folders and files from that user. Then I went back into the root, and I then kind of played around with that user's files and that user's permission. And that was just really me trying to run through a scenario based on if I had to create folders for a user in my environment, what would I do? And how would I secure them? How would I give them the correct access? And things like that. So that's one of the things that not a lot of people who are trying to get into IT will necessarily understand. It's not going to be something that you'll think of initially when you're going through labs. You're not going to necessarily think of real world scenarios that you could run through because you've never experienced a real world scenario. So that's kind of with what I've been doing. That's what I'm trying to implement into my learning is I have to relate everything that I'm learning into a scenario that I've dealt with in the past, or that I could potentially see myself dealing with. So that's kind of my methodology. And I really want to create some videos where I talk more about this and I give you guys the tutorials based on what I would do. So that type of stuff will be coming up. I'm not sure exactly when. I'm starting to get a lot of that planned out. But I think it would be beneficial for you, again, if you're looking to just get into IT, to understand maybe what some of the different scenarios you would run into as you get to a business environment. So, like I said, I think that'll be beneficial, and we'll go over that. But yeah, on the let's see, this one on the practice exam, I got what did I get? 27 wrong out of 41. So it was not very good. I did not do very well, and part of that, honestly, was because there was a couple questions. There's probably 5 to 10 questions, so more than a couple, that had multiple answers to them. And every single time, like, that a multiple choice or a multiple answer question came up, I would select one answer and then I would hit submit right away, because I was just, in like the moment, it's in my zone, and I just wasn't paying attention fully. I think I was more nervous than anything. So that's all right. That happens, I can't really beat myself up over it. Ooh. I skipped way too far. Here we go. So yeah, based on me going through this different scenarios, I retook the test. Let's see, Monday, I believe, and I passed it. So there, you can see I got 87% correct. So I'm not sure, out of 71 questions, 87%. I'm not sure how many exactly I got right. But after I failed the practice exam the first time, I really dedicated a lot of time to labbing, like really diving deep and trying to figure out these different commands that I didn't know or just had trouble with. And I think that is one of the most important things that I myself can do for learning, and I hope that a lot of you out there who are trying to learn and understand the different technologies that you're studying, that you take the time to lab. To whether you're setting up virtual machines, you are utilizing a e-learning platform, like Linux Academy or IT Pro TV, Skillsoft, whatever the case may be. A lot of these have practice labs or different virtual machines that that you can get into and play around with. I really think that is going to be the best way for anybody to learn, of course, but I really encourage you guys to just dive into it. If you're really nervous about installing like VirtualBox and setting it up to run Linux or different Windows operating systems, it's so easy to do. There's so many tutorial videos out there that show you how to install VirtualBox and then install one of the operating systems of your choosing on it. It's really easy. And then from there, if you're studying from an e-learning platform, you can take what you've been learning and studying from there and implement it into your own home lab. And what's really nice about this, what the big difference between the practice labs and things like that out there from these learning platforms, is a lot of your sessions that you create on these virtual machines might be only good for like 60 days, maybe 90 days, I think at most. So after that amount of time, your session could get cleared out. Maybe something happens on their end and they have to clear profiles and things like that. You lose all of your saved data, basically, which is fine. I mean, the practice labs and VMs that they offer, I mean, it's there for your training, and it's supposed to be like a limited time. So I get that. But if you really want to create something that's yours, and you want to have something that you can go back to all the time, play around with and break, install VirtualBox, VMware. You can install one of the versions of VMware, run virtual machines, you'll be good to go. So that's installing virtual machines is, sorry, I got it's like something on my glasses, it's driving me nuts. Installing virtual machines, it's going to help you in almost every single aspect of IT, of learning IT, anything IT related. Whether you want to be in security, you want to be in networking, a sysadmin, you have to understand virtual environments. And the sooner that you understand a virtual environment, I think it'll be greatly helpful for you going into your career even further, especially if you can go into an interview and be like, hey, I may not have prior experience, but at home I built this a virtual, I built my own home lab. Sorry. And, I have a domain controller. I have an Active Directory server. So maybe you even have like a WDS server and you're doing like MDT or something like that. You basically just built your whole entire home lab on your own, right? People are going to look at that. Employers are going to look at that. They're going to say, wow, how did you do that? What did you do to set that up? And you could say, oh, I've been studying from IT Pro TV for the last, 6 months. And everything I learned from them, I implemented into my home lab because I wanted to understand it better. That's a great way to show off your skills. And I just kind of did a video on that, yesterday, I think I published that one. So that's it for that, I guess. I'm kind of rambling on and on. But basically, I just kind of wanted to tell you guys, I failed the practice exam, but then I took the time to study harder, to lab harder, and then I passed it. So I feel really good about that. I'm not exactly too thrilled with the 87%. I would like to pick that up. But I took notes of the things that I got wrong, even from this exam, the one that I passed. So, there's a few things that I want to get right, and then I will schedule the actual real exam after I get probably 95% or better on these practice exams. So next up on my list after this is I'm really looking hard at the LPIC 1, and I think it's LPIC 2, or Linux Plus. I really want to get a better understanding of Linux. And I've talked about this numerous times on how important learning Linux is. So especially if you guys want to get into security. If you want to get into security, make sure you learn Linux. There's a crap ton to learn about security. That's another thing. It's Cyber Security Awareness Month. I'm not sure if you know that, if you're aware of that. The month of October, Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So you probably see a lot of different campaigns out there running across the interwebs. I'm sure if you have Facebook, you're getting different types of sponsored ads talking about Cybersecurity Awareness Month, things like that. But it's something that's really important. That's why I put out that what is social engineering video the other day. I hope you guys check that out. If you haven't checked that out, I strongly suggest you go back through the library and watch that, because I just kind of basically give you guys a rough overview of what social engineering tactics there are, a little bit how they work. I want to create another video or other videos where I go into more detail on some of the social engineering scenarios and stuff work and get executed, and what exactly happens from a lot of them. 'Cause that's a lot of fun to me. It's interesting to me, which I talked about in that video. Basically because I've had that past experience doing a lot of different social engineering roles, put it that way. So the next video that I'll be putting out, which should be next week, is about the CEH, Certified Ethical Hacker. That's a big question that I get all the time. What do I need to know to pass the CEH, or how do I become a certified ethical hacker? So we're going to go over some of the different requirements with the CEH exam, what it means, how much it costs, where you take it, what is it, the whole kind of gambit of the CEH, from an understanding that you have no idea what it is, but you heard that term and you really want to get a better understanding of it. So we'll go over all that in the CEH video, and that'll be out next week. So that's some of the stuff that's coming up. I'm really excited about that. I'll be putting out more security stuff this month, obviously because it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So I apologize if that's not exactly what you want to see, but that's what's happening. I have other videos lined up for Microsoft certifications, Cisco certifications. Down the road, we'll talk about more CompTIA certifications and things like that. And then, of course, doing the Ask Me Anythings, doing help desk videos. I'm trying to work on a new help desk video, which I'm pretty pumped up about. We're going to bring back Larry the Redneck. So if you've watched any of my help desk videos, I think it was the last video I did, or I brought maybe prior. I think it was the last video. I brought in a character called Larry the Redneck. He's a real cool guy. I really like him, so we'll bring him back. But yeah, that's kind of everything that I had in a nutshell. I passed the exam finally. I'm just gonna leave that up. I'm gonna leave that window up. So, so I'll study more. I'll study harder. I'll lab harder, and I'll get through it. And then I'll practice, or I'll set up the real exam. And then I think I'll be doing kind of some different vlogs in regards to my progress and what's going to be happening. Like I really kind of want to vlog me getting up and going to take the certification. up until I like walk in the door, and then as soon as I come out, whether I pass or fail, maybe I'll just do a live stream as soon as I start walking out the door. I'll just hold my phone and live stream. That would be kind of fun. So we'll see what happens with that. There we go. That's the one I wanted. So now I should probably look at the chat and see what's going on. So we can open it up to some questions and things like that. If you guys want to chat about anything, if you guys want me to go in this sweet little Linux box that I got, we can do that too. So if you guys have any questions, now's the time. Let me check through the chat a little bit. Hello, everybody. I guess I should say that first. How y'all doing tonight? Thank you, Dakota. You're a jerk, but I love you. I appreciate that very much. You're still a jerk. Yeah, just a baseline can't go anywhere but up. That's true. If I think if even though it's a practice exam, right? I mean, I was totally bummed out about the fact that it was a practice exam. But I think even if it was the real exam, even if I went out and spent the $300 or whatever it's going to cost me to take the actual exam, and I failed it, I think I would be like upset. I would be kind of mad, but I wouldn't look at it as like, oh, I'm going to sit and frown upon this and beat myself up over it. It's like, all right, well, clearly I didn't study hard enough. I obviously did not take enough time to learn the things that I needed to know, which was very apparent when I failed this practice exam. So I look at it as I just have to go harder. I mean, it's go hard or go home. And I think that's what everybody kind of has to say to themselves at one point. If you look at your failures as like just a complete failure and you can't look at anything past the fact that you screwed up or ultimately failed, right? Like, that's not going to be good for you. You can't look at your failures like that. You have to look at your failures as a learning example. Like, you have to learn from them. If you don't learn from them, then you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, constant failures, especially if you're not learning from your stuff, if you're not learning from your mistakes, shame on you. But anyway, let's see. Skillsoft or IT Pro TV. So they're both good and different in their own ways. So I would strongly suggest, I think Skillsoft, you could do a free trial. I know IT Pro TV, you can do a free trial. Definitely look at that. The Even Plural site is good. CBT Nuggets, they're good. Check out their free trials. See, they each deliver content to you differently. So you are going to definitely like one over the other. So just go join a free trial, see which one, resonates with you the best. Let's see. Such a bummer on the exam. Yeah, thank you, though. Yeah. That's all good, though. Let's see. Abu, studying cybersecurity videos these days are really educative and inspiring to me. You are very, very welcome. Trying to make all of the newer videos that I put out a lot more educational, a lot more engaging, and informative, of course. And really trying to get more into that cybersecurity area. I'm trying not to deviate too much into that area because there's a lot of other stuff that I really want to cover. But now is the right time to talk about cybersecurity. So, Jack Page, you just passed your CCNA. Thanks for your channel for helping you out. No problem, man. Congratulations. That is awesome. Very happy for you. Let's see. It's all good, my guy. You just passed your part 2 and got certified last week. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. I love when people come back and tell me hey, I passed this exam and you were a big help. Thank you. That's amazing to me. That blows me away. At this point it's I should try to expect that because I've been doing this for so long and I'm just here to help people, but I don't expect that. I'm here to help in any way that I possibly can and share any knowledge that I have or bring on other experts who can share their knowledge. So anytime that I or we can help you, that's why I do this. The whole reason I do this is for you. You right there behind you're in front of your computer or your phone or tablet or TV, whatever the case may be. Thank you. to you, and I'm happy that I can help you guys and girls. Let's see. Lenny says they've learned a lot about how to prepare for the CCNA exam, but not doing so well in the practice exams. Yeah, if the practice exams that you are doing will show you the things that you got wrong, I strongly suggest you write all of those down and go hard at all of those things that you're getting wrong. What's my goal after I pass the exam? Are you shooting for a particular job? So right now, YouTube is my full-time job. And this is what I do day in, day out. I just started consulting for an organization doing their mobile device management. So I'm pretty good right now. But the reason why I am learning Linux and the reason why I will be learning many new technologies is because if YouTube were to blow up and never exist ever again, I'd be screwed if I didn't keep myself up to date. So I will be studying and taking different certification tests, getting certified in different things, and eventually I hope to work my way into the security field if something were to happen to YouTube. So, and regardless whether I do YouTube or not, and I totally would love to get more experience in the security field, get more knowledge about that field, get certified in some of the different, areas like the CEH, for instance, or Security Plus, and consult. I would love to do some consulting, like that kind of, that's fun to me. I enjoy that. So hopefully, as I'm going through these different processes and learning different things and sharing my experiences with you guys, that helps you in your journey, gives you more motivation. Like, I'm not afraid to admit that I failed. Like I said, if I failed the real exam, I would tell you guys the same thing. It's like, oh, I failed it because I suck. Well, it is what it is. Let's see. What part of the exam do I think seemed hard for me? Sorry, Impact Forever asked that. If I go over my notes right here, and if you give me a second to kind of do that, I could probably tell you based on what I found here. A lot of the stuff was what are the locations of like encrypted passwords? Like, I just couldn't think of it. I remember going over it after I kind of looked it up, but I couldn't remember that. I couldn't remember paths to things. So like the login bash shell, couldn't remember that. There was a couple. Let's see. The new user profile information. Even like moving a directory, like I thought I had that right when I was going through the exam. Like I was like, yes, I got this one right. I know for sure because I remember doing some work with that before, but I got that wrong for whatever reason. Configuring the path to the man page, got that one wrong. So it was a lot of that. The recent shell commands, I could not think of what that was. DNS resolution, those commands. That's the kind of stuff that I got wrong. Maybe it's not that it was hard, it's just that maybe I couldn't remember it, but I want to lean on the side that I couldn't remember it, but I also need to understand it and make sure that it's something that's ingrained in me. So that's the kind of stuff that I went over, and that's kind of what my scenario was based around: moving folders, looking up some of the different locations and things like that, creating text files with that information. So it was fun. I learned a lot from failing, so I'm happy with that. Let's see. Pros and cons for CompTIA server or MCSA server. Well, the MCSA server is going to be a lot more advanced and better, honestly. Not that the CompTIA server, the Server Plus, is a bad exam. It's a great certification. But I think the MCSA is always going to hold a higher value. But you could do both, because a Server Plus is definitely going to help you with that entry level type of stuff more or less. MCSA will get you deep in the weeds. I want my Linux certification too. I want a couple Linux certifications. Linux is now and the future. If you don't learn Linux, you are limiting yourself greatly. Absolutely, Nick. 100%. Like that is the exact reason why I'm learning Linux. And the fact that, I talked about this the other day, 50% of Azure servers are running Linux, which it blows my mind. I love it. So yeah, that's why I'm learning it. Next, hey, what's going on, Chris? I don't know if you're still here, but hello. Do I collaborate with other YouTubers? So I collaborate with Dwan Lightfoot from time to time. We'll get together and we try to plan stuff out, but we both have crazy schedules. So he's one of the big YouTubers that I try to collaborate with. Used to collaborate with PC Addicts back in the day, but he's kind of lame and doesn't know how to YouTube anymore. So I try to collaborate with people. But my schedule's crazy. I just did an interview, not new YouTube necessarily, but I just did an interview with Dr. Dan Manson. He's from the National Institute of Cybersecurity Education. He's also a professor down in Nevada. I can't remember the name of the school. Shame on me. But yeah, I just did an interview with him. If we're connected on LinkedIn, you could see I shared that link earlier. I'll share that on Facebook and Twitter as well. Hopefully tonight, if I remember. But it was a cool interview. He interviewed me. He brought me on a guest for his show. So it was fun. He's a cool guy. I met him down at Black Hat, and he was part of the Game of Titan Cyber Challenge, which was tons of fun. I hope we do that again next year. Let's see. Do I think Python certs are worth getting? Yeah. Python is amazing. One of the big reasons, not a big reason, but one of the big things I'm really looking forward to about learning Linux is also learning more about Python, because I've learned a little bit so far, and I know kind of how it's implemented within Windows environments, but not sure how it works within Linux. So that's something that I really want to get a better understanding on. And I need to understand Linux before I can understand how Python is going to work with it. Let's see. Your CEH book came in the mail. Better be studying that. If YouTube blew up, you'd hit every venture capital investor to start a video hosting platform. Someone has to carry the torch. Absolutely. What would people do without their cat videos? I think the internet would implode without cat videos. What does an ideal career path look like for cybersecurity, an ideal starting point, and what skills should I pick up along the way to make myself stand out? Thank you. Well, you're welcome. But I did a video on that last week. I would check out that video. And then if you have more questions that video doesn't answer, then send me an email, DM me on the Twitters. You'd probably send a message to Facebook. I don't know if I'll check it. Or even, I think I'm on Instagram too. I've been getting a lot of Instagram messages lately. I don't like Instagram though. Oops. Let's see. Dakota, you didn't miss anything. I missed you. That was it. Up arrow recent comments. What recent comments? Did I miss something? Lenny, you've got too many questions. Questions are great. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer your questions. How does one lab for Linux? So, Lenny, you can go out onto the World Wide Web and you can download a program called VirtualBox, which is entirely free. That will allow you to set up virtual machines of of most Linux distributions or even Windows operating systems. So after you download VirtualBox, go out and look for different Linux distros that you want. So if you want Kali Linux, you can Google Kali Linux ISO. They'll take you to the download page. Download that ISO. Or if you want Debian or Ubuntu, just Google Ubuntu.is or Ubuntu ISO, and you'll find a download page for it. So that's my best route. I did a video actually where I talked about downloading VirtualBox and installing. I forget which distro of Linux I installed, but if you look through my past videos, it has to be within the last month that I put that out. Check that out. I interviewed you. You're a YouTube. You're on the YouTubes. I did interview Dakota. We're gonna interview Dakota again. I actually just put out like a quote unquote casting call out on LinkedIn, asking for more people who are like entry level IT staff and also IT hiring managers. Which hopefully I get some IT hiring managers to come on and do an interview for me with you guys. Things like that. I would really like to do, honestly, set up some live streams where I bring in like hiring managers or other people who are new to IT, much like we did with Dakota. And I just want to check something real quick because I also put it out on the Reddit that I wanted to interview more people, but it doesn't look like anybody's responded to that yet. So that's unfortunate. Let's see. Hilton C. You would like to know, how do you start your career in security? You mean the first job you get and the knowledge you had at the moment. Greetings from Brazil. Well, hello from Brazil. I just did a video like last week where I talked about starting your career in security. I actually have 2 videos that really kind of talk about starting your career in cybersecurity. They've been out within like the last month or so. So if you go back through my videos, it's honestly better for you to go watch those videos than have me try to explain everything from those videos. I think the videos were pretty much really well put together, so it should be really easy to understand and follow through. Yep. Binary, he already gave me money. He always gives me money. I wish I had Dakota's kind of money because he just loves giving his money away. Doing your skills exam next week. You're nervous? Don't be nervous. Binary, you talk so much crap in here, man. You're not nervous. You don't got to be nervous. Let's see. Silly question. Do I know how to make Ubuntu show same application and control? I do not. So I've talked about this numerous times where I'm just learning Linux. I'm just trying to understand it. So with like the LPI Linux Essentials exam that I'm trying to take, like I'm literally learning the essentials of Linux. So I am no expert at all. If you ask me how to search the manual pages, I could tell you that. If you ask me how to change a directory, I could tell you that. I could go over everything that I know within Linux, like right now. It's not very much. I think it's enough just to get me in trouble, probably. And I've been doing everything from root, which probably isn't good either. I mean, that's probably, it's not protocol unless I'm, managing a server, but whatever. It's fun what I've been learning. Let's see. Nick says, I think a lot about people watching this should be looking at Red Hat. It is the gold standard for corporate distros. Absolutely. I think Red Hat is, that's something that I'm going to get into hopefully down the road here. More or less, I think when I get to like the LPIC exams or the LPIC studying course that I'm going to do, or Linux Plus, then I'm going to look into Red Hat a little bit more. But I think based like from my personal opinion, if somebody's just learning Linux, just trying to get into it, Ubuntu, Debian, CentOS, like those seem all fine. I'm using Kali Linux on the laptop that I have, and then on this MacBook that I have Ubuntu in one of the VMs. So those are the 2 that I kind of play with. They're pretty easy. Kali Linux is really cool. After I did research on that, how it includes like a lot of different applications. For if you're looking to get into InfoSec, cybersecurity, like that's really cool. Let's see. What's a realistic time frame to get all 3 CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus? So that's a good question. And I get questions like that all the time, but it's all on you. Like I could tell you that I would say those 3 exams, you could probably knock out all 3 of them in a year. Like that would be like kind of like a realistic goal that you could probably accomplish. Once you go through the CompTIA, or once you go through the A+, that might, well, yeah, I think a year. A year probably would be all right. But that depends on how you learn, like are you a really quick learner? Is your memory really, really like on point? It's all on you. Like it really depends. how much time do you have to dedicate to studying? Can you only do like an hour a day? Can you do a couple hours a day? Can you put in like at least like 15 hours a week? It's all on you. It's different for everybody. Dakota, we'll be setting something up soon, hopefully. No, I didn't really fail Linux Essentials. I didn't really fail it. I failed the practice exam, and then I passed it like 2 days later. Passed the exam after I studied, and beat myself up over just a little tiny bit. What did I do to prepare for the exam, and was it sufficient good? So I went through the entire LPI Linux Essentials course on linuxacademy.com. You guys can go check them out. I can't remember if they have a free trial, but I honestly really enjoyed what they've done. They're not sponsoring any of this right now. I'm wearing their shirt because I really do like the shirt, but I actually really do like their platform. I think I've really learned a lot from it. Even though I did fail, it's more or less my fault, but it's been enjoyable for me. Just going through that entire process. It took about 8 hours or so, 9 hours for me to actually go through the entire thing, even though it's like a 6-hour course. I feel like I really tried to take my time to go through it, and I still failed the practice exam, but that's okay. That's all right. But yeah, when I passed the exam, what I did to prepare for it, which is what I said earlier, is just go over all the things that I failed previously, and then I ran through like practice scenarios that would kind of help me understand, what these different commands, what everything means. It helped me trying to relate it to something specific. So that's what I did. Let's see. What's going on, King Harsh? Nick says Kali is great. Check out Parrot OS. I should check that out for sure. Slayer says, yeah, we used Parrot to hack a Wi-Fi router in your Linux class the other day. That's awesome. I'll have to look that one up. Thank you for that. That's a recommendation that I will definitely look into. Very interested in that. How do you get your first IT job if you didn't have an internship and you're in senior year of college? Man, King Harsh, I've done so many videos on that. Even if you didn't have an internship, that's no big deal. What is your college degree for? Like, what is your college degree in? I mean, you should have a much easier time landing a job with a college degree than many other people. So you're already one step ahead of many, many people. Let's see. For some great lessons on cybersecurity, check out Nullbyte. I'll have to look into that also. Yeah, King Harsh. Yeah, you could definitely watch the video with Dakota. That was a good one. How did I get the shirt? I brown-nosed a lot to Linux Academy. Said, hey guys, can you please send me a shirt? I love you so much. You're the best ever. No, not really. So I did a couple sponsored videos from Linux Academy. So anytime I do a sponsored video for a company, so let's start first. Okay, let's start this off this way. Anytime I do a sponsored video for a company, it's because I believe in what that company is doing. It's because that's a recommendation that I can give to you that I think is valuable. Otherwise, like I get emails, honestly, like almost every single day from companies like, hey, will you talk about my product? Hey, will you talk about this service? Will you talk about this whatever that we're offering? And I look into it. I see what it is that they have to offer. I see if it's valuable at all. If it's not, I'm not going to do a video on it. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's not worth my time to recommend crappy stuff to you. Like that completely gives me just a bad name, basically, So no matter how much money somebody offers, if their product is absolute crap, I'm not going to talk about it. How you guys feel about me is much more valuable than, me getting paid a bunch of money to recommend some stupid, crappy product. So, yeah, any company that I've ever talked about, it's because I really 100% believe in what they're doing. So, like Linux Academy, I vetted them out for about a month, where I got into their platform, looked around, seen how I liked it, and within I think the first 3 hours of just kind of looking into it, I was kind of hooked into the Linux Essentials course. So that's kind of what I stuck with it. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to keep doing it. You know what I mean? So that's, yeah, I did 3 sponsored videos from Linux Academy. So anytime I do a sponsored video for a company, I always ask for a t-shirt. Like every single time. Like, please send me a t-shirt because I want to wear your t-shirts. And this shirt, like, I don't know. I like the way it fits. I like the way it feels. I wear it all the time. Every time I go out, I feel like I have this shirt on, which is fine. But, I have like IT Pro TV shirts and Skillsoft shirts. And I think over here I have the SolarWinds hoodie that I like. I'm trying to find the SolarWinds thing on there. There it is. SolarWinds. Yeah. I love getting swag, especially like swag that I can wear. With this hat though, I had to buy this hat. Like, this hat wasn't free. I couldn't get a free hat. I actually purchased this hat, and I wear this hat all the time too. It's my favorite black hat that I own. See what I did there? Let's see. Ghost says, yeah, you've taken Linux Essentials and passed. Do I recommend taking CompTIA Linux Plus, or don't really need it since you have the LPI Linux? You probably wouldn't need it unless a company like specifically asks for the Linux Plus. I think the Linux Plus and the LPI exams are pretty much identical right now at this point. Linux is coming out with a new Linux Plus certification, which is supposed to be, completely separate in aspects of the LPI exams, because right now, like, the current Linux Plus exam is really heavily driven off of LPI. So the next exam that CompTIA comes out with is more, it's going to be more structured based off of CompTIA developing it and not LPI. So not really sure what the new Linux Plus looks like and how it differs from the LPI exam. Let's see. Masaki Joe failed the Security Plus twice. That's okay. Like, I hope you know and understand that it's okay that you failed it twice. Like, yeah, that totally sucks. I feel really bad for you. I'm sorry. But take more time and study. Take more time. And if you can, build a lab around some of the different things that you're learning with the Security Plus, and try to mimic some scenarios that you can think of. Go out on YouTube, look up more people that talk about the Security Plus. I don't know what you're using right now to study, but try a different resource. It sounds like whatever you're using to study from isn't working for you. So go out and join one of the different e-learning platforms. Check out Professor Messer. That's what I would suggest. The AWS certs are baller. So if you guys are wanting to, the AWS stuff is really good to learn, especially because of the cloud. It's just getting so freaking huge. So I definitely suggest AWS certs for many people. Dakota, why are you guys talking about Fortnite? What's wrong with you? You guys in Fortnite. I don't understand that game. My 11-year-old daughter begged me to put Fortnite on a computer so she could play it. So I finally gave in. This is like a month ago, and she's playing it. I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand how this works. Can you explain this to me? When she tried to explain it to me, I was just even more confused. I like the way that I thought how it worked better. That basically, to me, all Fortnite is, you just run around and shoot people. That's it. That's great. Whatever. There's been Unreal Tournament 2K. That's what's up. That's the only game that's good where you can go run around and shoot people. Especially the space level where you jump like 8,000 feet in the air. Oh, man. I'm dating myself because Unreal Tournament back then was like, yeah. So that's like, 20 years ago, 18 years ago, playing Unreal Tournament. Yeah. Good times. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to talk about games anymore. Linux Academy is pretty good. Your internship is paying for it, though, so it's a nice perk. Yeah, for sure. If That's always a good perk if you can land a job that will pay for your training. Sorry. There's a lot of jobs out there that they'll pay for your training and things like that. Can you dress in a t-shirt and jeans when you work in IT? It depends on the job. Whatever business that you're going to be working for, whatever dress code that they have, that's what they have. Every single IT job that I've had to wear dress pants and a dress shirt, mainly collared shirts. Oh, except for the first school district I worked for, they didn't care what I wore. I forgot about that. They did not. I wore like freaking shorts and flip flops to work, and they didn't care. So there's that. But one of the school districts I worked for, you had to wear nice pants and nice shoes and all that fun stuff. Hospital I worked for, you had to do all that. One of the companies that I worked for, though, every Friday you could dress casual, which was, that's always fun. But yeah, it's going to depend on the job. For MCSA Server 2016, should you be installing Server Core or Desktop Experience? Well, I would install both. I would install in a VM, each separately in a VM. I'm not sure what the MCSA Server 2016 covers in regards to the core, but I guess as you're going through it, look into that. But for right now, the Desktop Experience would be completely fine. What do I think about test out certs? So I got to watch what I say because somebody that I know very well is an instructor or course creator over at Test Out. I don't know much about the Test Out certs. I don't hear much about them. We could do like a quick search here. Let me do that. I can see. Let's see. There are some jobs out there that are asking for it, but honestly, there's none. There's two full-time jobs out there that actually have, it says preference to those individuals with Test Out Pro certifications such as PC Pro, Network Pro, or Security Pro. And that's in Orem, Utah. So that's like right by the Test Out headquarters. And here's an IT help desk technician job for Test Out, like actually being their help desk technician at the Test Out company. Let me see if I can pull this up so you guys can see it. We'll use this window here. Let's. Test Out. And let me open this up here. Sorry. Window capture. There we go. So yeah, as you can see on my screen, get that over here. Two jobs posted. One is for the actual company Test Out, and the other one is for Basque Technology. So that should give you an idea of how the Test Out certification fares in the real world. Where I could look up, let's see, I could just look up A+ certification, and you can see that there are 6,789 full-time jobs that would like for you to have the A+ certification. So it's not necessarily about how I directly feel about. Actually, I did this from the wrong window, so let me show you here. Sorry, I'm on like two computers, so it makes this difficult when I forget that. Here, A+ certification, and yeah, 6,789. So anyway, it's not necessarily how I feel personally about the certification. If the cert is something that employers are looking for, that business organizations are looking for, then it's relevant. Like that's obviously relevant if there are companies asking for it. So that's kind of how I weigh certifications, of importance, not necessarily like how much it's actually going to teach you, because a lot of the certifications will teach you a ton, right? But how relevant is that cert? It's like the Google certification. Yeah, sure, it's a great certification. It's going to teach you a lot of things, but how many companies out there are asking for it? I'm afraid to search for Google certification on Indeed, only because there's a lot of different Google certifications. Certification. Let's see. Let's see. Google Suite Admin. I know you guys can't see this right now, but I'm just looking to see. I mean, without like diving deep into these, it's hard to tell. It shows that there's 500 jobs, but like I said, there's a lot of different Google certifications, so it could be showing all that. But that's what I think about test out certs. Can I suggest where you can prepare for the CCNA course exam? Dude, there's tons of videos out on YouTube, but IT Pro TV, Skillsoft, CBT Nuggets, Pluralsight, they all have very good courses there for pretty much all of the exams that you can think of. So go check those out. There's free trials for all of them. If you find one that you like, go with that one. Let's see. Have I seen the WGUBS in cybersecurity? When progressing towards your bachelor's degree, you also learn 14 certs. That's crazy. That's a lot of certs. So recently I've been seeing a lot of traffic coming in on YouTube from WGU. So and now that you bring them up, you're like the third person I think that's asked me about them. So I really need to look into them. They must be doing all right. If you get 14 certs along that way, like that's a lot of certs. I mean, you'd be good to go. Like, no doubt. We should collab and get our CCENT together. The CCENT, while I'm still definitely interested in that, like that one's down the road for me a little bit, I think. I do need to get back into it. So maybe we could collab. Maybe it'd be really nice if I could create a group. This is probably I'll have to create a video for this and create like a private group for like YouTube viewers that I have who are interested in getting a certification, and would have to find out like collectively which certification to go with, and then we could all get together like weekly and talk about different things that we're having trouble with, talk about our progress, go into some labs and just talk about it. Like, I think that would be a lot of fun. It would be very interactive, and I'd get a lot of knowledge from that. You'd get a lot of knowledge from that. So we should definitely look into that. Sorry, I don't know if somebody's out there yelling. Let me see. Can you switch your career to DevOps from system administrator? Absolutely. And that's the cool thing about IT is like you can make a switch in your roles at like any time. If you can get any type of experience or knowledge during your time as your sysadmin in DevOps, that's only going to help you. So always having experience is going to make your transition to another role in IT much easier. You don't necessarily have to have experience in DevOps. Just the fact that you have experience in IT, that will greatly help you. Let's see. Steve-O, you work in a nursing home. You have to crawl on the floor, so you're allowed to jeans and a company polo. That's solid. That would be all right. Fridays, Dakota gets to wear jeans. I'm so far behind on this chat. I apologize. Let's see. Somebody asked, you completed your CCNA cert. Can you do AWS cert? You could, yeah. You just have to study. Career opportunities about DevOps. I mean, we can look them up on Indeed if you're still interested in knowing about that. Let's see. I talked before about making video on an extremely low pay rate some companies are trying to get. Do you have an ETN when they'll be out? I was just going over that video today, or going over the contents of that video today. I'm hoping next week, or maybe if you're lucky, tomorrow. Depends on what I got going on tomorrow or Friday. But I think that would be more along the lines of next week. The problem with me making that video, I have a lot of issues with this video. Like, I have a lot of issues talking about it because it's something that's gonna like cause people to be like upset. It's gonna make some people like happy just knowing this knowledge. It makes me upset talking about it, but yeah, it'll be a good video. I'll be very passionate about that video though. I'm afraid maybe I can try to separate my feelings about that and really talk about the actual facts of the help desk and salaries. Let's see, this person, I'm not going to try to butcher your name. You're building engineering, trying to network engineer. Is there any relationship between them? Not necessarily. No, I mean, there's nothing. If you're looking at true engineering where you're like actually like building stuff, there's no relation. Let's see, Anthony, you're on service desk. Do you even bother getting the A+? Shouldn't you go straight for network plus? Not necessarily. The A+ is probably no. Okay, so the A+ is the best entry level certification, hands down. Like no matter what anybody tells you, the fact is, if you look on Indeed.com, which we just did, there's 6,000 something jobs that are looking for the A+ certification. There are companies that require you have the A+ certification, meaning they don't care what degree that you have. They don't care what other certifications you have. They require you have the A+. So that means that you have to get your A+. So many companies will hire you under the circumstance that, they'll hire you without that certification, but within 60, 90, 120 days, you have to get your A+ certification. But whether you go for the A+ or the Network Plus, I mean, they're both valuable. They're both required by companies. So go with whichever one you feel like going with first. But just know at some point you might need your A+, no matter what. Let's see. John finished the 209.01 videos on Udemy. Anyone else doing Udemy courses? I don't know. Is there anybody else doing Udemy? I don't use Udemy. I should look into them just a little bit more. Then there's somebody spamming. Look at this site, dude. There are all books you need for free. I wouldn't go to that site. You know why? We just talked about it in my social engineering video. I would never go to that URL. Dakota wasn't interested in Udemy. TechExams.net has a lot of people talking about WGU. I really want to look into these guys into WGU. So I will do that after that. Tonight I will schedule out some time to look that up. How long did I study for the Linux stuff? I mean, I was probably like 10 hours into the course on Linux Academy, and then I probably did another 5 to 10 hours in labbing, like on my own personal time without watching, the Linux Academy stuff. It was just everything that I wrote down. I was going over it, creating different scenarios for myself. So all in all, I had probably 20 hours, maybe I would say 25 max. Like, let's just be on the safe side, probably 25 max. So that's not a lot of time to study for a certification, but I feel like the LPI Linux Essentials cert it's very easy compared to many certifications, of course, because it's entry level, but it just seems like really easy. Even though I failed it, like generally, like it just seems fairly easy. If you were getting skilled with AWS, you're pretty much good with any cloud system in terms of getting a job. Not necessarily. I mean, it's going to help you. That experience will definitely help you. But I wouldn't say you're pretty much good. It'll help you for sure. Oh, Rick22. They say that they're taking the ECES certification from the EC Council. Any jobs out there for this? If you look on Indeed.com, you could search for any certification you want, and it'll show the relevant results for that cert. But this person says that 14 certs are true for WGU. Rick 22, can you go on, like, I don't know, does WGU have like forums or something? And can you search for like IT career questions or something? Because I want to know who is linking to my stuff over there. Because like I said, I keep getting traffic from WGU. I'd love to hear, or love to see like what it is. Let's see. This person says, your professor is helping you go for the Security Plus. What are some tips you can give on it? You have a book and you use Exam Compass and Crucial Exams as well. Any tips that I can give, any tips that I could ever give about studying for certifications is make sure that you apply any type of lab scenario that you can with it. Whether you're doing virtual labs online through Exam Compass, if they offer that, or building your own virtual labs. That getting hands-on with this, with different technologies, is going to help you. Udemy seems low on production. It seems like the info is getting old. Yeah, I need to look into Udemy a little bit more. A lot of people talk about it, but when I looked into it like a year or two ago, I wasn't impressed with it either. But maybe it's changed since then. Let's see. Rust is about to graduate with BS in IT. We're afraid you won't get any jobs because you don't have any experience or certification. Could you please give me suggestions? You shouldn't have any problems based on the fact that you have a degree. Like, honestly, I have a bunch of videos that you could probably go back through, and a lot of these videos would answer your question better than I'm going to answer you right now, right this second. But you have a degree, so you should be good. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with this chat. You guys go too fast for me. This person asked, studying for Security Plus, what's the best platform? I think all the platforms are really good. You go through all of them, join their free trials, and see which one will work best for you. Can you ever use the internet without ever being noticed? I mean, that's just kind of like a question that has so many answers that I don't think we should go into. You can remain somewhat anonymous on the internet. It all really depends on how much information that you are going to share, how much personal information you're going to share. But somebody will always know you are on the internet. Whether they know for sure that it's like you as a person, they just know that here is an individual who has an IP address that is surfing the interwebs. And they could definitely track you through that and potentially figure out who you are if you're doing criminal activities. Do you have any recommendations for virtual desktops? You're studying for your A+. I think a lot of the A+ now, I think the new one that were very like Windows 10 based. So definitely virtualize Windows 10. You could probably virtualize Windows 8, but I doubt they're talking about that because Windows 8 is just crap. But yeah, virtualize Windows. What exam am I doing next? So I'm either going to do the LPIC exams or the Linux Plus. There's a couple other certifications that I have lined up that I'm talking about with people that I'm going to try to do, and I'm going to try to knock out and go get certified for. But right now, it looks like my first certification that I'm going to get is going to be the LPI Essentials, the LPI Linux Essentials cert. It'll be the first cert that I get. Best platform for labs. So they Skillsoft, CBT Nuggets, Pluralsight, IT Pro TV. I think they all offer some type of practice labs. Some of them actually use the company practice labs for their practice labs. I'm sorry that probably sounds confusing. Otherwise, I can't think of. It's right on the tip of my tongue that there's another company out there that offers labs. So like Skillsoft or Pluralsight, for instance, might use like their platform for labs. I can't think of it. Gosh darn it. I feel like IT Pro TV went with them or used them at some point. Whatever. But yeah, I kind of answered the best platform question and all that. What's up, Tappy Toes? Glad to see my channel growing. It's been a while. Yeah, it has been a while since I have seen you in here. WGU is a great school and it's cheap. Only $6,000 a year for 14 certs. Wow, that's not bad. Was 4 years, right? Is it is it a 2 year or 4 year that you're going for, Rick? Oh my gosh, I can't keep up with this chat. Best recommendations for Security Plus passing: study, lab. That's it. Everyone here pay attention to me because I'm smart. I wouldn't go that far. I'm just trying to help. How would you say get hands-on with Security Plus? So Security Plus is going to go over a bunch of different technologies and protocols and things like that. There are ways that you can virtualize, your environment, and based on some of the stuff that you're learning from the Security Plus, figure out a way to create a scenario based around that. So that's what I would do. Let's see. John says that he's thinking of buying an old server on Craigslist so you could practice setting up a home server. Does it matter that it may have to get an older OS for them, Windows Server 2008, 2012? John, no, not really. I mean, honestly, there are so many different organizations out there that are running Windows environments that are using Server 2008. I mean, there's tons of companies out there still using Server 2008. I mean, I think end of support for that is 2022 or something like that. So, I mean, you have a while before Server 2008 is just going to be completely gone from environments. 2012, as far as I'm concerned, I would just skip. I wouldn't even think about that one. It's stupid. I hate Server 2012. But even though it's an old server, you still may be able to put Server 2016 on there. You might just have to put more RAM in it or something. But you can always virtualize it, your environment. Drew, you email and I didn't respond. So which email address did you send an email to? Because that might make a difference. A lot of the emails that I get from people, I try to respond as soon as I can. Some of the stuff gets lost in the weeds. I apologize. But I either try to answer you right in the email or answer you in a video. Do I work full-time as well? And what's my job title? I don't work full-time anymore. Wait, I do work full-time. This is my full-time job. I spend way too many hours doing stuff for YouTube. But I love it. I love every second of it. But I just started consulting for an organization doing their mobile device management, which is what I did when I left my full-time job before. So mobile device administrator, that's consultant / MDM admin. That's what I would say my title is for my consulting gig. Just run VirtualBox and run an eval copy of server for sure. Talk to Brandon. Hey, what's up, man? You just watched a video from me last night. You're currently majoring in system security. Any advice? Man, just keep on studying. Keep on learning. Keep on studying. Get some labs going. Use all the resources that you can. Go to the Security Weekly YouTube channel or podcast. Just start understanding some of the stuff that they're talking about, the different technologies and things like that. It'll help. Steve-O, they still talked about Windows 8 last year. I think you're referring to the 8 Plus. I know they just came out with a new 8 Plus, or they're coming out with a new 8 Plus, which probably, I think they're coming out with a new 8 Plus next year, and that probably won't have anything Windows 8 related because Windows 8 sucks. Sorry, I have harsh feelings towards that. Rick says they did Linux Plus. You also got LPI when you passed it through CompTIA. Not sure if they still offer this deal. I'm not sure either. I have to look into that one. I'm not sure how much the Linux Essentials is so basic, doesn't even compare to the Linux Plus. Let's see. Bachelor's degree, you can finish at your own pace. You can do it in 1 year or 4 years. They allow you to sell it. Wow. I really need to look into WGU. I might have to. I'm going to look into them. That's all we'll say right now. Brian, you're looking for help desk to start your IT career. Good luck. Should be all right. You have questions about that? The partnerships email. Okay, so I don't have full access to the partnerships email. I rely on Brandon to take care of those emails, so he may have missed it or forgot to forward it to me, but I will see what I could do to look up your email. I apologize. Have I thought about becoming a teacher? I've always thought about becoming a teacher. Obviously I love talking because I talk all the dang time. But no, I love helping people. So teaching is definitely something that interests me a lot. The only problem that I had with being a teacher was going to school to be a teacher, because honestly, and I can say this many times over, like, school is for some people and school is definitely not for many people. And school is definitely not something for me. I cannot put myself through that. Some people can do it, and it's definitely better for you if you can get a degree. I know that. I realize that. I understand it. I just can't like do all these freaking like prerequisite classes and all that stuff. Like, hi, I'm going to go to college to get a degree for IT. Please don't teach me about math or English, because I don't care. I don't want to do that. That's so infuriating to me. I hate that so much. So that's why I don't go to college. That's why I won't go get a degree, because I feel that strongly about that. So some people can do it, not me. DP Twin, you're currently in a computer science, but you think you want to change your degree because the math I need. What you should go for a degree or certs? You have no experience in IT. I kind of answered that question a little bit with what I just talked about. Yeah. You do whatever you feel most comfortable with. How about that? John, you use Windows 8 because you're trying to avoid spying in 10. Dude, you're getting spied on no matter what. Like, let's be real. Like, I'm not going to go all conspiracy theory, because I feel like I get conspiracy theory whatever when I start talking about this. But no matter what, like, if you're on the internet, somebody could see what you're doing. Plain and simple. Like, the fact that you're on YouTube, Google knows what you're doing right now, right this second. Whether you're on Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows XP, it don't matter. The biggest thing that everybody wants is data. So they're going to find your data no matter what. It's unfortunate, I guess, but that's the world we live in today. How do I feel if Microsoft makes Windows a subscription service? It scares me that the functionality would decrease because you didn't pay your bill this month. Sorry. So Microsoft is just trying to do what they've always done and monopolize everything, but they're getting with the times with everything else becoming SaaS related, or whatever, AAS related, as a service. So Windows doing that does not surprise me. How do I feel about it? I mean, I can only applaud them and the fact that they want to suck money out of everybody left and right. There's so many organizations that are frustrated with with the different things that are going to be happening within Microsoft creating their operating system and things as a service, where you will pay monthly. I can only applaud them and just say, wow, you guys are doing great. Keep on killing it. Take my money. But that's why I feel a lot better about using my Mac and now learning Linux, because I don't have to worry about Microsoft. Even though I do love Microsoft, don't get me wrong. But I don't want to be one of those people that pays for it every month. Like, it's not for me. I already pay for Office 365. I pay for like 4 different Office 365 accounts. That's, like $50 a month, 40 or $50 a month. That's enough. Microsoft's getting enough money from me. And I'm only doing Office 365 because Office 365 is amazing. Like, hands down, Office 365 is so freaking cool. Everything that you get with it, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I also pay for the Adobe Creative Cloud. Pay monthly for that. $50 a month now. but I get all the Adobe products and they stay up to date all the time. I love that. That's, back in the day, I would never pay for anything. Back in the day, I don't think anybody paid for software. And I was always going to be that person. Like, I will never pay for something. Like, oh, I need Photoshop. I will pirate the hell out of Photoshop. Now I pay for Photoshop. So, that tells you anything. Let's see. You wish you never went. Stop going after 3 years and crap load of loans that you're paying for. Yeah, Steve-O. That's one of the issues with college also. But, again, don't get me wrong. College degree is going to be very beneficial for you in your career. So, it's all on you. Let's see. Throughout my experience in IT, what advice can you give us from the mistakes you made? Because we all made them. Man, Gearzoline. I've done many videos where I've talked about this stuff. And it's really hard for me to, try to answer that question in a live stream. Because I could go on and on about the different experiences that I've been through and the things that I could, or different advice that I can give you. And there's definitely been mistakes. Here's the best advice that I can give you based off a mistake that I made. If you are ever in a position where you have to plug an Ethernet cable into a switch, make sure you are able to locate the other end of that Ethernet cable. That is very, very important. And I will let somebody answer why it's important. So if you plug an Ethernet cable into a switch, make sure you know where that other end of that Ethernet cable is going to be. Why do you need to know that? That's my question to you. And if I remember, I'll answer that. If nobody answers that. Brian, you have no IT experience. What's my advice to get a first help desk position? Apply for every single job that you can. Check out my resume video that I did 2 days ago or yesterday. I think I published it yesterday or the day before. Yeah, go look at that video. I definitely answer that question. And that video covers everything I think that you need to know and will answer your question much better than I can right now. Do I think working in the school sector of IT is smart? Yeah, I think I loved working for school districts. That was some of my favorite jobs that I've ever worked. Working in schools is fun. Every environment is completely different from one another. So school districts, a lot of times you'll find are very outdated, which is fine. If you're just getting some knowledge from it, you'll be fine. You'll move on to the next job where hopefully they'll have more update things and you'll have a lot more fun. But I love school districts. It's a lot more relaxed than many environments. It's working for a hospital can be so stressful because you're essentially dealing with people's lives. Working for a business, working in an actual business environment where they're selling whatever, that can be stressful because of the fact that if one of your systems is down or computers aren't working, whatever the case may be, they're losing money, and that is the end of the world. And F that. Sorry. Business environments suck in that aspect. Good laptop for Ubuntu with GNOME. You could probably run that off of any laptop. Go get a 5-year-old laptop. It'll run it. How can programming assist you in IT? Wait, I'm missing stuff. Sorry. Can you give suggestions on how you can prepare for CCNA exam? You set up your own lab. Is there any virtual lab that you can set up? Rust, you can, if you join IT Pro TV or Skillsoft or Pluralsight, any of the companies that you see scrolling at the bottom there, they will have virtual labs that you can use. Cybersecurity is hot market if you're smart enough to learn all the tools and know how to apply them. For sure. And how can programming assist you in IT? Not necessarily programming, but learning different, learning command line, learning Python, learning PowerShell. Those are all things that will help you automate your job. That is crucial. The best system administrators are lazy system administrators. So keep that in mind. Let's see. What certs do I have in total? Well, I'll have certs very soon. I'd have 17 years of experience in the field. That's what I live my life off of, is experience. Do I do IT answers and or tutoring offline or in person? No, but there's going to be some things coming up with that. That's probably more or less next year, where I'll be introducing some new things. There's some big things in the works. I think I say that like every single live stream that I do, but trying to plan out some of these different things that are happening and working with other organizations to solidify things, it's a long process. It's definitely a very long process. Office 365 may be awesome. Something about having a physical copy on your hard drive makes you feel better. I mean, you can still download the actual applications on your computer. You know, you can still download Word and download Excel and all that crap. Let's see. You're Adrian. Hello, Adrian. You have your CCNA and you're almost done with your CCNP but struggling to find a job. Is it a good idea to continue for your CCIE with no experience? Yeah, I mean, it's only going to help you. Any certifications that you get are only going to help you. Let's see. Answer. So no monkey in the middle business can take place. See you later, Dakota. So Steve-O had the right answer. You don't want to create a loop. So the question was, if you didn't know, was where I talked about where I've made a mistake and I learned from this experience is I was in a lab and there was a switch that was on the floor. It was a 24 port Cisco switch on the floor. It was a complete mess. The wiring was a mess. This was in a school district and their printer wasn't working or something, and I found a cable that was unplugged, so I plugged that cable in. And I left the building. I walked out. Well, 20 minutes later, we were getting phone calls that this entire building is down. Nothing is working. So come to find out that this cable was like a 30-foot long Ethernet cable. And I didn't follow it all the way because it looked like it was going out somewhere. I was like, oh, okay, like that cable's good. It's going to something, right? Well, it turns out that cable went out like 10 feet and then came right back. So I plugged the Ethernet cable into the switch, created a loop, took the entire building down. That was probably the biggest mistake that I've ever made. I got a lot of crap for that mistake. But it's something that I'll always remember. It's something that I'm always going to have in my head. Like, I have to watch out for this. Or else, you create a loop storm. You create this endless loop of traffic. And it will take down a network. So never, ever, ever, ever plug an Ethernet cable back into a switch. Don't, you know what I mean. Yeah, that was my mistake. Let's see. If I had to do it all over again, what would I do? Programming or system admin? Oh my gosh, that is such a great question. See, and the problem is, even if I could do this all over again, and even if I could go back 18 years, and say, all right, here's my two decisions, which one do I want to make? I don't like programming. I just can't, I don't like it. So I think if I would say, I would do programming, I would just hate it. And then I'd hate my life. You know what I mean? I know how important learning different programming languages is because you can make a lot of money in that field, but I still don't think I could sacrifice my happiness. So sysadmin would be my route. I want to learn different programming languages, but only the bare minimum things that I need to know. That's it. I'm totally okay with that. I have a good understanding of, not that PowerShell is exactly it's hard to say if that's a programming language or not, but PowerShell, PHP, a little bit of Python, the CLI that I'm learning now with Linux, those are the things that I'm learning. Things that I want to learn though is Java and JavaScript. I want to start looking into those. I know that I'll need to know those as I'm looking into the security field even more. So we'll see what happens. Maybe as I get older, I'll find a greater passion for programming, but who knows? I just don't like it. And it's probably from all the years of developing websites where I didn't use a program called Dreamweaver. Before the days that WordPress existed, so if you're familiar with developing websites, before the days of WordPress, right around the time Dreamweaver was out, but I never used it, I coded every single website that I ever did by hand in Notepad. That was it. Like I could still to this day, I could develop an entire website in Notepad with all the HTMLs and CSS and all that fun stuff. But that burned me out. Like I never want to sit in front of a computer and just hand code anything ever again. See, Anthony says a local university said you can do cybersecurity if you get a CCNA. Is it worth doing that to get in, or should you just stick with CS and self-learn cybersecurity? There's so many different answers to that question. A CCNA can be helpful if you're looking to go down a route where that will be utilized more or often. But there are so many different areas of cybersecurity, so many different roles within cybersecurity. You know, some you don't have to have a CCNA to work in. So it's all about figuring out where in cybersecurity you want to be. Jake Conway, how much is Skillsoft? I don't know, to be honest with you. I think they did a price change. I don't know what it is. I think it's like $700 a year or something like that for a year, which is, I mean, that's a pretty good price with all the content that they give there and practice labs and all that. It's a good price. DP Twin, if you already have some classes done for a degree, would you say I should just go for your information technology degree? Yeah, it depends on how much of that you have left. But degrees are always going to be helpful, no matter what. Especially if you're looking for more management type of roles, or if you're looking to be a director at some point, a degree could be required. Jake says they're currently working towards their A+. Is it worth going for? This is so you can get an entry-level IT gig. And for networking, do you need to be good at math? For networking, you don't need to be good at math. That's what calculators are for, and subnet calculators. Very helpful. But yes, A+ is the A+ certification from CompTIA is hands down the best entry-level certification that you can get. So many people talk mad crap about the A+. Like it's worthless. Nobody cares about it. It's not needed. It's the stupidest certification in the world. But in reality, it is the best entry-level certification that you can get. I've talked about that so many times. I just talked about it today already. There's over 6,700 jobs, 6,700 full-time jobs in the United States that are asking for the A+ certification. That's a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs. So A+ certification, definitely worth getting. Let's see. Do most companies count college course as experience? I mean, if you don't get a degree, it's not going to be seen necessarily as experience if you're just doing the courses. I mean, you could list it. It could kind of help you. But if you could say, hey, I did these college courses. I didn't finish my degree, but, at home I had this home lab that I worked on and built and blah, 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 blah. That would be more beneficial. Would I say that using Linux Academy enough for passing the, yeah. So Slick asks, because if using Linux Academy will be beneficial towards getting their Linux Essentials certification, definitely. That's what I'm using to get my Linux Essentials cert. It's worked for me so far. The only reason why I failed the practice exam is because I didn't study hard enough. That's my fault. Let's see. Gears O'Lean, you have a job interview tomorrow as an IT specialist 2 at a local bank. Any job interview questions you should prepare for? Being level 2, they're probably going to ask more questions in regards to like more managing things, how you manage things, how you work with a team, if you can help, the level 1 techs or help desk techs. You get a lot of questions about that, but they also might ask more scenario-based questions or troubleshooting questions and things like that to kind of prove that you can be a level 2 technician or specialist in your case. So you can't prepare for what technical questions that they're going to ask you because it's going to vary, but just preparing yourself in general that you're going to get asked questions like that should be enough. Brian, do I attend IT conferences? If yes, what are some that you have attended? So I went to Black Hat. I just went to Cybersecurity Chicago, and I went to InfoSec World. And I couldn't arrange to go to DerbyCon this year. I think DerbyCon's happening like right now or end of this week or something. I really want to go down to DerbyCon, so I'll probably try to hit up DerbyCon next year. I'm planning on going to InfoSec World again next year, and then I'm also planning on being at Black Hat again next year. So those are the ones that I've hit so far. Hopefully Cybersecurity Chicago gets bigger. But yeah, that's what I've attended so far. Let's see, John used front page to make websites for your grandpa one time only. Never did anything with web pages after that. What did I use to set up the back end of my websites, like all the control and the logic, because HTML, CSS is designed for the front end. Yes, so I just purchased hosting plans, like use like GoDaddy or HostGator or DreamHost or whatever. So they would have like a control panel, and I would always try to find hosting that had cPanel. Like that was the name of their control panel, was cPanel, because that was the easiest one to use. That was the easiest one that handled everything. So basically, I'm renting space from a company that is, providing the server for me. They set up, my own folder and all that. And then from there, it allows you to host a website. You throw up all your HTML files, CSS files, and then you can go into the back end and their cPanel, manage SQL databases and things like that. So that aspect, it was very easy. I didn't have to know anything about Linux. What is the best certification to get if you want to become a network admin? Any of the Cisco certifications after, like, the CCNA. So, like, CCNP, CCIE, those will help you, for sure. Let's see. This person got the Security Plus. What kind of entry-level jobs can you get? You could potentially get a entry-level job in cybersecurity. More or less, it's going to depend on who you know, probably, but anything is possible. But with just the Security Plus, you go for help desk, and you shouldn't have a problem getting that, or any type of like level 1 job. Chris has spent 3 years in school and in software development, but you're now starting to feel like maybe software development isn't for you. What do I recommend in terms of job paths and trainings for them? Well, it depends on what you want to do. Do you want to stay in software development or no? Like, what else interests you? Let's see. Just for IT in general, so I would hit up any of the companies that I've listed: Skillsoft, IT Pro TV, Pluralsight. The list goes on and on. Those will help you learn anything that you want to know about IT. They have CompTIA certs, Microsoft certs, Cisco certs, Amazon certs, VMware certs. I got everything. So you could literally pick whatever you want and go study for it from any of those sites. Hello, Adrian again. Would I recommend to study for the CCIE after CCNP or get other certs to build your resume? No help desk or IT experience, only customer support. Yeah, the CCNP is a great certification. It's definitely going to help you, but other certifications to support that will be just as helpful. So being that you have no help desk or IT experience. Oh wait, yeah, no IT experience, only customer support. Yeah, so even getting like the A+, like I said in previously tonight, like and having an A+, could be a requirement for a role. So just getting that, but Security Plus is definitely going to be a high ticket certification to get as far as like entry level and things like that go, or just to support other certifications that you have. Let's see. Jake says, how do you self-teach yourself IT? You recently looked at a few of my videos and recognized one where you mentioned you self-taught yourself IT. What would I recommend? So, back in the day, it was a lot of trial and error. I was lucky enough that I was able to get into different organizations and consult and things like that and learn from a lot of people and take a lot of what I learned back home with me. I had, I wouldn't necessarily call it a home lab back in the day, but I mean, I had another computer that I would utilize to learn different things. So building home labs by far is, I think, one of the best ways that you can learn IT. Whether you're getting the physical equipment or not, labbing and having an understanding hands-on is going to be beneficial. That's the best way to self-teach yourself. You'll utilize different platforms. So even if you use like IT Pro TV or Skillsoft or whatever the case, you're self-teaching through that. You're self-learning. You're learning from somebody, right? But you have to apply that somewhere. So you need to lab. You can't necessarily go through any of these courses online and expect that you'll be able to have a great understanding of these different technologies. I mean, you can go out and you can brain dump certifications, right? Like you could go and you could study like 48 hours straight and then go take an exam and pass it, right? But you're not going to remember any of that. Nothing will be retained. You don't have the hands-on experience. The hands-on experience is the most important, and you can get that by building your own home labs. So VirtualBox, VMware, those will help you. So that's what I would suggest. Am I saying that one cannot get an entry-level job in security field except get in through help desk? No. Anything is possible. Anything is completely possible. I always suggest going into help desk first, no matter what. If you can get into a help desk job before you get into anywhere else, it's going to greatly help you understand how business environments work. And that is very crucial. So even if you work in a help desk job for a year and then go off to a security job, you're more than likely going to land that security job because you have already a year of experience in an IT role. You kind of already understand how business environments work and how things are set up. So that's why I always push people towards like help desk and entry-level roles. By no means should you expect or want to have a career where you are a help desk technician or a level 1 technician. If that's your life goal and you can manage that, making enough money, then great. That's perfect. You do that. You enjoy your life working help desk. If that's what you enjoy, you do that. But if you're looking to advance in this field, you're utilizing a help desk or entry-level position to gain experience to make yourself more valuable. Period. Let's see. This person, who I'm not going to butcher their name, says you currently work as a help desk associate. What are the best certifications you should do for system administration, or can I recommend any current certification which will help me for a good career? So any of the Microsoft certifications for sysadmin are going to help you. Security Plus is definitely something that you should have. AWS certifications are going to be good for sysadmin, or Azure for that matter. So that's what I would look into. Is one going to be necessarily better than another one? Not necessarily. I mean, AWS certs are a hot commodity. Everybody loves to see those. Your problem with home labs are creating situations to troubleshoot. You obviously know the issue if you created it. Yeah, I mean, even though you know what the issue is, still going through that scenario, repeating that scenario, that will help you have a better understanding. Create all the scenarios that you can and just go over them over and over again. Try to have fun with it. That's all you can do. But and then go out on YouTube and see what other people are doing in regards to their home labs. There's definitely things out there that you can learn from other YouTubers. Chris, you are in the military with a job in the computer field and technology. In my experience, do employers look favorably on experience like that paired with certs like Net Plus and Security Plus? Absolutely, Chris. For sure, 100%. Being in the military can definitely greatly help you down your career path. And getting certifications only help that. Let's see. How can you learn security working as a field service technician? You have Security Plus, which is what I want to do, but I just got a job as a field service technician. So the best thing that you could do is, now that you're in the field, is push your way into more security type projects or implementations, things like that. If they have a security team, start trying to work with them. But if they don't have a security team and you're the only person interested in it, you need to start pushing managers, directors into why security is so important. And that can help you. I have a better answer for that, but I have a video planned out for that. So won't answer it completely right now. But learning, just home lab, IT Pro TV, Skillsoft, whatever. There's many providers out there that can teach you what you need to know about security. See, John, checking out IT Pro, you can take as many courses as you want for as long as I'm subscribed. I might like being on a subscription in this case. Yeah, so IT Pro TV, once you join them, you have access to every single exam that they offer. If you use the coupon code ITCQ30, let's see, I'll put this in the chat. IT Pro TV coupon code ITCQ, can't spell, 30. You'll get 30% off the subscription there. So if you like IT Pro TV, use that coupon code because you'll get 30% off. 30% off is awesome. And I may or may not get a kickback from that. Full disclosure, because I have to disclose that per the YouTube rules. If you use my coupon code, they give me money. So if you sign up for IT Pro TV, please use my coupon code because I like money. Let's see, Germans, you have the A+ and have networking and Linux knowledge, thinking about going straight for the OSCP. Would this be a wise path to get in InfoSec? Yeah, I mean, you could do that for sure. Whether it's wise or not, that's neither here nor there. Getting the OSCP, on the other hand, that's a great decision. I think there's some requirements for the OSCP, if I'm not wrong, though. I have to look into that one a little bit more. I was just looking in the CEH cert today, and they have some requirements. IT Pro TV does have virtual labs or practice labs and things like that. Yes, they do. Check out Troublemaker for Linux. It breaks your virtual machine. That's cool. I'll have to look into that. Has specific modules like can't log in or SSH is broken. I'm going to have to look into that. Troublemaker for Linux. And favorite that. Troublemaker. Troublemaker. We break it, you fix it. That's cool. Thank you for that. DB Daryl. That's legit. Let's see. It says, do you need something to help you study for the RHCE exam? Troublemaker is going to help you break stuff. That's cool. So yeah, IT Pro TV has virtual labs. Are those included in the subscription? Yeah. So the virtual labs are included in the, it's like their higher tier subscription. Whatever that is. You can look it up. I don't know why Facebook won't connect. Darn it. Okay, well, let's go to IT Pro TV. We can put this on the screen. Window capture. New window. There we go. So if we go to pricing, let's see. You would have to get the premium. If you get the premium subscription, and let's see, I'm terrible at math. So 85.70, is that what it is? Yeah, 85.70 minus 30%. $59.99. So $60 a month. You have access to their virtual labs and practice tests. So, I mean, that's a pretty good value. I don't know if they have a, I can't even talk. I don't want to create an account. Oh, here we go. Annual. Were we on $857 a year. Let's see, 857 minus My keyboard's not working. So $600 for the year if you do the premium with 30% off. So it's not bad. I mean, you get the virtual labs and practice tests with the subscription, and you can't beat that. This app looks super old, so it may become my Hacktoberfest Python project. Which app looks super old? The Troublemaker one? So our labs on IT Pro V included with it? Yeah, and yes, they are good. They are good labs. The IT Pro TV labs are good. I have used them numerous times. So if you study those, will you be ready for the certification for the courses they offer? Yes. I mean, in theory, yes, you should be ready. You can't fault any of these e-learning platforms if you don't pass the certification. It might not be their fault unless they specifically did not cover questions that were on the exam. Like, then I would fault these companies. Otherwise, if you didn't pass the exam, it's probably because you didn't study hard enough. You didn't go at it hard enough. Let's see, so if you $60 a month isn't that bad, but also a lot. Hard balancing studying, wedding, house, etc. Yeah, I understand. $60 a month, it's really not that bad. For everything that you get, it's not that bad. So you have to think about this. You could go to college, right, and you'd be spending thousands of dollars to go to college, or you could spend $600 for the year and you could study any single certification exam that you want, and you have access to their virtual labs and their practice exams. If you did that without paying for anything, you would be relying on YouTube and other types of free resources that are out there for some of the different exams. Then you have to figure out how you're going to, build your own lab or find different virtual labs that you could utilize. So then you're adding costs there in some aspect. But you're also trying to build a studying path. Why can't I think of how to term that better? Terrible today. I'm getting burned out. I can't believe it's already 10 o'clock. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So then you have to figure out your studying plan. Whereas if you join Pluralsight or Skillsoft or whatever, they have everything laid out for you, and you can stop and start at any time. Yeah. Congrats on the wedding. DB Darrell says, cram and get the cert ASAP. Leveling up equal more money for house and wedding. That's for sure. That's a great way to look at it. I mean, you're only investing in yourself when you're paying for one of these subscriptions. It's only an investment. You're not losing anything. I mean, you're technically losing a little bit of money every month. But what if you could turn that $60 a month into an extra, $2,500 a month? That could literally be the difference. Probably not $2,500 a month, but possibly, yes, possibly. You could be getting an extra $500 a month easily just from getting a certification. $2,500 probably pushing it. That was probably just a really high number that I put in there. But anything is possible. The doors will open up for you once you have certifications. Jake says, what courses are included in the IT Pro TV subscription? You found out when you used CBT Nuggets for the week, they didn't have many virtual labs. So I think we can go over this. Let me pull this up. Here are all of the here's the companies that they have courses for. Okay, here's all the certifications. So all these certifications will also have a virtual lab associated with it. Why is it just showing certifications for 60? All right, hang on. We'll go through category. So here's CompTIA certs. I'm going to keep going and going. It's going to take a long time probably to go through this, but you can go to the website and you can look through all these. These are all of the different courses that they offer for different certifications and things. And here's even like a PowerShell scripting. Not necessarily certification for that, but then I teach you PowerShell scripting. PowerShell is so valuable in Windows environments. Here's Cisco certs. Security skills. So CCNA security, look at that. CompTIA Security Plus. Yeah, the list goes on. I mean, I would go, gosh, they just have a ton there. So go check out their website. You can see all the certs that they offer. And courses, I mean. Extra $2,500 a month. You'd be doing your happy dance. Yeah. I should have said $250 a month. But yes. An extra $2,500 a month for getting a certification. I mean, gosh, I would get like every single certification I could. For CCNA, do they ask you how to build a lab? Because if I do virtual lab, technically I'm not learning how to set up my own lab. No, if you do a virtual lab through like IT Pro TV, they're gonna show you how to set up a switch. You know, they're gonna show you all of that. You could quit driving Uber. Yeah. DP Twins. So if you plan on switching to an IT degree, should you go for the A+ now, or should you wait to see what degree brings you to? So depending on what that degree path, offers for you, you might find that you actually get the A+ certification throughout your college course. We're ending this stream in like 5 minutes, by the way, because I can't talk anymore. But they might teach you everything that you need to know about the A+ so that you can go take that certification. It could be part of the curriculum. It might not be. It really depends on the school. So look into that, and if they don't offer the A+ as part of the curriculum, then you can go out and get that at any time. You have a friend which just got CCNA Cyber Ops and got $5K pay raise. Yeah, that's pretty good. But $5K, I mean, for the year, what does that equal out to? Like extra $600-700? No. 500? I don't know. I'm terrible at math. But yeah, that's a good raise. There is a course that says Workforce Preparation CompTIA A+ certification. Yeah, you should definitely go in and ask. I'm assuming that within that course it teaches you what you need to know about the A+, and then you can go out and get it. Kit, you want to pursue cybersecurity, but your university does not offer that. You are taking computer science as a major. You might be taking A+ within these 2 months. What suggestions do I have for you? I would go check out the video that I just did like 2 days ago, and then check out the other video that I did like 3 weeks ago, where I talk about getting into cybersecurity and what you need to know and different things that you should learn. An extra $420 a month. So an extra $420 a month. I mean, they're going to take taxes from that, of course, but that's a car payment for many people. Yeah, so 420 minus, let's say you get like $325 a month. Like that's what it equals out to. I'm pretty sure it's probably less than that even. Especially if you live in Illinois like me and you have to pay your federal tax and your state tax. So stupid. But yeah, like $300, that's like a car payment. So, I mean, that's solid. You go out and get a certification, you can go out and get a new car if you get a $5K pay raise. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's legit. My truck payment is ridiculous. I would have to get like a $10K raise to pay for my truck payment. It's ridiculous. I'm a legend, by the way. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a legend. But thank you. Illinois does suck. Illinois does suck. Sorry. Yeah, Minnesota sucks too. I've never been to Minnesota. You got your A+ and got nothing from work, not even $1. So did you approach them beforehand and say, hey, if I get an A+, will this benefit me in any way here? Or, hey, I want to go get my A+ certification. Will you pay for it? A lot of time, if you had your A+ prior to working in an environment, they're probably going to pay you. There's a word I'm looking for and I can't think of it, but they'll pay you and they'll compensate you for for having that A+. So let's say You and I are applying for a job, go through the interview process. The only difference between us is an A plus. We both get hired for this organization. You will make more money than me because you have an A plus certification, and I don't have an A plus certification. I'm willing to bet that's how they would do it. If they were fair and they didn't try to screw us around on wages and things like that, you'd probably make more money than me because of that certification. Yeah, so Steve-O, I would definitely GTFO that place. For sure. You're 5 months past your yearly eval. Yeah, get out of there, man. If they won't pay for your certification, like that to me is a red flag, because that only helps them. I mean, I've definitely heard of companies that won't pay for your certification, which, yeah, I mean, I kind of understand it, but more or less I don't, because a company can spare the $300 and the $300 cost for a certification. That's nothing to businesses. That's nothing. If they're not willing to invest $300 in you, get out. Like, F that. That's so aggravating. And then companies wonder why their turnover rate is so high. Well, yeah, your turnover rate is high because you don't invest it back into your employees and make them better, thus making your organization better. That stuff drives me nuts. What platform do I use to share my screen? That's a secret. I can't share that. It's just OBS. Let's see. They hate when employees discuss pay because people will demand their worth, especially with additional certs. Yeah. So I had a job where I was, let's just say I was a level 2 technician. And I'd been there for a couple years. And we just hired a level 1 tech, right? And I had been in this organization for like 3 years. And I was working with my boss on a system, and it just so happened that the system that we were working in pulled up his pay rate. His pay rate was, he was making like 35 cents an hour more than I was. Now, the only difference between us was that he had a degree and I didn't. That's the only difference. So he started out, first day in the job making 35 cents more than I did. I was a level 2 tech, and I had been there for like 3 years. And that's the difference a degree will make. And believe me when I tell you that I pushed very hard for more money in this organization. When I was offered the job, every time a evaluation came around, even negotiating for the level 2 job, I said, I want more money. This is what I want. So that was one thing that made me very aggravated. But I kind of understand in a way, but I also kind of don't understand, but whatever. They do pay for CEUs for nurses, yep. And my wife, she's not my wife, but she's my fiance, my baby mama. She's a physician assistant, and she gets like CMA credits or monies or whatever. So she like goes to different conferences and gets credit for all that fun stuff, which helps maintain her PA stuff or whatever. This is all confusing to me, but they pay for it all. The hospital pays for everything. They pay for if you have to travel out of town, they'll pay for your flight, they'll pay for your hotel, they pay for your food. That's freaking awesome. What does IT get? Nothing. No, the hospital that she worked at, that I also worked at, we met at that hospital, by the way. And now we have kids together. Oh, how sweet. Anyway, the hospital that I worked at, they said that they would pay for my certifications. I asked them, said, hey, if I wanted to get a certification, will you pay for it? They said, yes, if you pass that certification, we will reimburse you. I was like, oh, that's solid. It isn't illegal to discuss pay. That's right. But they'll tell you that or something like it. Yeah, they never want you to discuss your salary with other people, with other employees. So stupid. They're also the company that pays $10 an hour for an entry-level IT and keep them part-time so they don't have to pay benefits. Yeah, man, that's... Get out. GTFO. Yes, Dakota, I'm still live, but in like 2 minutes, I am done because I can't talk anymore. Are there really entry-level jobs that only pay $10? Yes. I wouldn't share who you're working for, but there are tons of jobs out there that pay minimum wage even for help desk, which whatever minimum wage is in your state. And I have a video coming out where I am going to talk about this because we are the problem. Like, you are the problem. You are why, and I am why, excuse me, companies are able to pay or are paying entry-level jobs at 10 or 12 bucks an hour. Like, we caused that. We created that. These businesses didn't create that. We created that. And we're gonna talk about that in that video. Sorry, Scullins. I think you said something before. I missed it. Can OMIS become systems architects, or is that really only for computer science students? I mean, that depends. You have a lot of work ahead of you for a systems architect. See, Marcus says you got a help desk job layer 1. You started at 16 with only a CCNA, and you're halfway through your CCNA now. So yeah, I mean, different places pay different things. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll talk about that in the other video that I create. I'm not gonna go into that now because it's frustrating for me. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm not going to answer any more questions because I can't talk. My brain is fried. So thank you guys for joining me in tonight's live stream. I hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate it. I always appreciate you guys coming in and talking with me, chatting, asking questions. I do this for you. If it wasn't for you guys, I would not do this. So thank you for watching, and have a wonderful night. Keep on learning lab every day. And if you guys want to join IT Pro TV, remember ITCQ30 gets you 30% off. I also have a link floating around for Pluralsight. If you use that link to join Pluralsight, I get some monies too. But yeah, anyway, you guys all have a great and wonderful day, and take it easy.